Hey there everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault, and we're going to talk about some wokeness at Nintendo. Why Nintendo? You guys have been doing so good. You guys have been doing so good, but I've seen your name pop up several times lately. Get out of this DEI BS while you can, please. Well, let's cue up the music and then we're going to talk about it. So, Nintendo of America, okay, this is the American part, manager James Wong describes gamers opposed to wokeness as angry bigots, previously encouraged racism against white people. Well, there's a shock. Let me tell you something, Mr. Wong, you are completely Wong to think that way. So, that's going to be my last Wong joke in this video, I hope. Anyway, Wong's comments came in the wake of ex-user Esco Cochise questioning the current crop of video games, asking, so if it ain't DEI and corporate BS, why do modern games suck complete cheeks compared to the past? Are you defending the state of the industry? Ex-user Airbag responded, writing, 2024 is freaking stacked with amazing games, and Dawn Trail isn't out yet. Oh, and Shadow of the Erd Tree isn't out yet. Oh, and Astrobot isn't out yet. Shut the fuck up. Okay. Wong responded to this comment, writing, it feels like all these angry bigots were better people before their con idols gave them terms they should get mad about, when those terms are concepts that have been around forever. He then added, you mean this thing I like from 2000 is woke? Always has been. Unsurprisingly, Wong is an adherent of identity politics and attempts to weaponize language to push the ideology. Back in December 2020, he wrote, am I the only one who's had a problem with the term PC master race because it feels like something a white person would say to make others feel inferior? He continued, much in the same way the computer terms master and slave don't live completely rent-free in my head. I know. Weird. Dude. You're weak, Mr. Wong, or Miss Wong, or whatever you identify as. Let's go check out Wong here on Twitter. I guarantee you. I have a feeling. Yeah, let's see what we got. Oh, where is it? Was it Wong JP? Is that what it is? There it is. Let's see. Manager, video producer, editor, live stream ops at Nintendo of America, opinions of my own. He, him. Black Lives Matter, trans rights. How did I guess? Well, Miss Wong, whatever the fuck you are, right here, you've invalidated yourself with that. This scam that you follow and this whole trans rights bullshit and your little fucking flags. Piss off, you jack off. Let's get back to your story. It makes me not feel so bad about taking a shit all over you today. In a follow-up, he added, I'm more of a something-something socioeconomic superiority complex thing going on. A flex on having more money and accessibility than others, then implying that others won't, can't, or shouldn't. He then linked to the Wikipedia entry for Master Race, writing, I'm well aware there's this too. What? I mean, this guy doesn't make any sense. He's so weak. These guys are the weakest of the weak. I hope Nintendo shit cans this guy like they do some major firings. Like, there's been a lot going on lately in the industry, right? A lot of companies are cutting back a lot of people. A lot of it's happening here in North America and Canada. And James Wong, you're the reason a lot of this is happening. People like you and your stupid ideology there, your stupid little self-loathing that you project onto other people. Nobody gives a shit about you. If you walked into a room like a normal person, no one would look at you twice. Okay? But you want to put yourself out there and be this flamboyant whatever. Yeah, people are going to push back because you're weird. Furthermore, in January 2021, he claimed rioters at the White House on January 6 did not want people like him to live. He wrote, I wrote this in a reply to the solo retweet, but I'll say it here for posterity. There are fellow Americans who don't want human beings like me to exist. They may not say it, but the true intent lies within. They don't care about anything else and can't see that they're the sheep. Sheep are the ones that have all these little sayings in their profile because, you know, everybody else does it. Black Lives Matter, for instance. The little flags, trans lives. Sheep put their pronouns in there so that other sheep can recognize them and they can look over and be like, bah, 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 bah. Yeah, that's what you are, man. You fucking clown. He then listed examples that he claims he was subjected to racism and prejudice. Oh, this guy sounds like Asian Jussie Smollett. First, he wrote, moments that I can recall the strongest where I've experienced racism and prejudice. One, rest stop diner between San Francisco and LA. A trucker cap wearing white man looked at me when I emerged from the restroom. Sitting down with coffee mug in his hand, he looked at me and just shook his head. Okay. Next, he posted 2. On my move from California to Washington while driving through Oregon, I slowly drove past a truck with a banner with a banner that said, diversity is a code word for white genocide. It set a tone for the rest of the day, and I was uncomfortable when I ate lunch alone in a small town subway. Dude, you've really got to grow. I don't know what you are, if you're a woman, a man, if you used to be a man, used to be a woman, if you cut your balls off or you're trying to get some balls installed, whatever, but you're obviously too weak to exist outside of your little bubble on Twitter. And I'm sorry that Elon Musk bought Twitter and it's no longer a safe place for you. Why don't you piss off and go to one of those, like Mastodon? Wasn't that supposed to be the next big one that all you fucking liberals said you're going to go over to? We're leaving. We're going to Mastodon. None of you left. I really wish you would, because we're tired of hearing you guys cry. But Wong then questioned, what are their motivations? From my perspective, racial superiority, control, and greed. These folks are all about us versus them. In short, it's like they don't want people of color to exist. That's my take. Sad. He concluded, some more perspective. It's these same people who don't care about someone like me, but also younger children, youth, older people. They attack the meek with words and physical harm. It's so cold-blooded. I have to tell my parents in their late 70s to be safe. It is horrific. First off, James, you, according to the left, the people that you follow so blindly in lockstep with, do not consider Asian people people of color. You are white adjacent. You are just as white and despicable as I am, my friend. Sorry about that. Welcome to the other side of the coin, brother. You know what? It's lonely over here, but yeah, really, man. You know, it's so stupid. And remember a few years back when there was all that crime against Asian people, right? 2-3 years ago. And they're like, oh, it's all this crime and all that. And then they found out who was really perpetrating the crime against Asian people. And then the media shut up because it wasn't white people hating on Asian people and just smacking old ladies around and all that. No, it was black Americans, unfortunately, in the cities. That was pretty brutal. But now that Ubisoft's coming out with a new game, you know, Assassin's Creed Shadows, instead of doing it in real life, black people are going to be able to actually play a video game where they killed thousands of Japanese people, you know, in horrible different ways. So it doesn't have to be on the street anymore. So that should put an end to that. You know, congratulations, Ubisoft, on your very racially sensitive video game there. But Wong previously shared a story about a truck back in November 2020. He wrote a thread. 5 years ago, when I was driving from California to Washington after getting a job, I drove through Oregon. I don't remember if it happened before or after I stayed with my friend and his family in Beaverton, but I was approaching a pickup truck on the highway. It was a pickup truck with a trailer with bales of hay, he continued. The hay was covered by vinyl signs on each side. As I approached the rear of, then was beside the trailer, I was able to read the sign. Diversity is a code word for white genocide. It had a URL and a hashtag. Now I can vividly remember feeling provoked, Wong wrote. But I wasn't angry. I drove past this truck afraid. I felt uncomfortable, as if suddenly every other car on that highway was driven by a white person. And I felt afraid, like all eyes were on me. Fear. That's what I remember, he stated. I remember driving into a small town to eat at a Subway, much like Jussie Smollett went out for a sub, because there wasn't going to be any food for much further into the drive, and that I needed to eat my food fast, play it cool, and then leave because everyone in there was white. James, you give yourself way too much credit. Nobody gave a shit you went into a Subway, okay? Honestly, nobody gave a shit. Especially over in the middle of Liberalville over there, California, Oregon, Washington. You're with your people over there, bro. No one's going to touch you. You know, no one gives a shit. Unbelievable. He continued, I wasn't sure if other patrons were looking at me while I ate. I was on alert for no good reason except I didn't want to be provoked by anything or called out by anyone. The remainder of the trip was beautiful. I remember driving over a bridge that led me into the mountains, into Washington State. The nature I saw on that drive was breathtaking and incredible, and it allowed me to forget about what happened as I drove by that truck. it's funny because anytime I hear these people talk and tell these kind of stories, it's always so dramatic, right? Especially when it comes from a homo like this guy. Women and homos are very dramatic. And I don't know, can I use that homo? Gay guys, I guess I should use that word instead. If homo's offensive, sorry. But anyway, it's so dramatic, right? It's so dramatic. If I went into a restaurant and everybody looked at me and, I used to have really long hair, big long beard, look like a freaking hippie monster, like Bigfoot and a Viking had a child together. People would look at me. I don't give a shit. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't scare me. I'm not scared. If I walked in to eat at a restaurant in an all-black neighborhood, and I've done it in little Cuba down in Miami and in Mexican towns and all that, full of Mexicans and eating there, I don't care. People look at me. Oh, there's a white guy. Hey, what's going on? Eat my food, move on. Not scared. Not a pussy. Ironically, an article written in Thought Catalog confirmed that diversity is indeed code for white genocide. In 2015, Emily Goldstein wrote an article titled, "Yes, Diversity is about getting rid of white people, and that's a good thing." She wrote in the article, "One of the more common memes that I've seen white supremacists spread around recently has been diversity is a code word for white genocide." That's very presumptuous to call people white supremacists for sharing that. It just means that they're concerned for their own people, just like black people are, just like Asian people are, Hispanic, whatever. The concept here is that diversity is only promoted in white nations and that the end goal is to eliminate white people altogether by flooding all white countries with non-white people until there are no white people left. Well, guess what? White supremacists, that's exactly right. Diversity is about getting rid of white people, and that's a good thing. She even concludes the article writing, "So yes, white supremacists." Yeah. So, American politicians have said it themselves, that their goal is to make the United States no longer a predominantly white country. That's the goal. That's why we have these open borders. That's why the government right now is working to grant amnesty to hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens that have come into this country. And quite frankly, I'm sick of it. This is part of a bigger problem. And this is why DEI is such a problem, because it extends far beyond movies, video games, and television shows. It goes right into the core of a nation. If you allow people to enter your country unvetted and in mass numbers, you're going to destroy your country. You're going to destroy its culture. You're going to destroy every aspect of that country. And for what? Why do Democrats want to do this? Because Democrats have always been the party of slavery, right? And who better to enslave than a bunch of poor immigrants that are coming into this country looking for work? They can pay them shit money to do shit jobs and basically have indentured servants working for them for, the lowest wages possible and all that. I mean, it's absolutely despicable what they're doing, but they're trying to push the white people out. Is this really a thing that's going on? Yeah, it's really a thing that's going on. I mean, they've said it themselves. And that's why this is so important. And if you feel, if you want to save the integrity of your country, you got to push back and fight back against this garbage, because it's absolutely wrong. Guys like Wong, they're a problem, And I'm not calling for violence or anything like that. Don't harass the guy or anything like that. But this type of thinking is terrible, and it's wrong, and it's actually destroying this country from within. If you look at the United States as if it is your home, and whoever's watching this from the U.S. is your home, right? Why would you allow people to just wander into your home that you don't know, from places you don't know anything about it, right? If you have a house, would you leave your door open and say, "Hey, anybody's welcome to come live here," right? Let's say you've got a 10-bedroom house and you live in there and you've only got 3 bedrooms taken up with you and your kids, right? Well, then all of a sudden people start coming in, and these people are different. They don't practice the same religion as you. They don't like the same food as you. They don't keep the same hours. They don't have the same values. You and your family like to sit in the living room on Friday night and watch a movie together and have dinner, right? Let's say you go and you get hamburgers from McDonald's and you watch a movie together on Friday night. Well, now all of a sudden you've got 7 other bedrooms full of people that when Friday night comes around, they say, "No, we don't want to watch a movie that tonight, and we don't want you to watch a movie," and now you're outnumbered. So you can't watch your movie. We're going to have a party tonight, or we're going to do something different, and we're not having burgers tonight. We're going to have something else to eat, It's the same concept. And if these people aren't working, they're not contributing anything to the house, everything's going to cost you more. Your electric, your food bill, everything's going to cost more. Wear and tear on your house. You're going to be going through toilet paper, soap, hopefully, and other things a lot faster, and you're eventually going to go bust. Why would you allow that to your country if you wouldn't allow it to your home? And I guarantee you, all these people that push for open borders and all that would never open their doors to foreigners like that. They would never do it. Absolutely not. No way, no how. Not vetted. Not the way they're doing it for our country. So anyway, that's my rant. I know I got a little bit off subject there, but James Wong, my friend, you can go to hell, buddy. You're a jack off, and I hope actually that Nintendo shuts down their American division and fires you. I think that would be fantastic. No, I'm just kidding. Or am I? Anyway, please let me know what you think down below in the comments. I know this one got a little bit heavier than usual, but there is, there's a reason I'm pushing back so hard against this kind of stuff. And this is it. We're watching it happen in real time here in the U.S. So, yeah, it's pretty brutal. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell for notifications. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, peace.